Hey friends, let's get moving. For today's glute focus class, you're going to need a pair of therapy balls tethered together. So remember, if you don't have specific therapy balls, you can use racket balls or tennis balls. And if you don't have a mesh bag to tote them together, you can instead use a tube sock and tie off the end. Let's get started. So first, we're gonna find the place where we're gonna put the therapy balls. So if you think about where kind of a normal pair of underwear might sit, not like a short underwear, I mean like a regular brief. If you think about where the brief might sit along the side of the buttocks, that's kind of where we're gonna put the therapy balls. So let's explore just a little bit and find those bony landmarks really quick. So if you follow the outer seam of your pant leg all the way up, there's a chance that you're going to feel kind of a bony notch before you get to the top of your pelvis. So this is where your thigh bone plugs in to your pelvis, okay? So we're not gonna be putting the therapy balls there. But it's good to know where it is. And then the other bony landmark that we're gonna find is the sit bone on that right side. So if you reach around for kind of under the flesh there, maybe have to excavate a little bit, I'm sure you can find your sit bone, okay? This is where, if you're sitting on somebody's lap and it hurts them and they say, oh, you've got a bony butt. Well, we all have a bony butt because we all have sit bones. So these are the kind of the boundaries of where we're gonna work. We're gonna put the therapy balls in between this spot. So let me show you. So the therapy balls are gonna go right here, okay? Kind of your side butt, if you will. And the movement that the therapy balls are going to take when we're lying down on our back is kind of this effect of smushing this gluteal flesh up towards the middle, okay? Towards the sacrum, towards the deep divide, if you know what I mean, okay? So this is kind of the motion right here. So let's go ahead and come on down to the ground. And I like to do this kind of propped up on my forearm. Some people prefer to do it laying down on the back. You know, just as long as you have the therapy balls in the right spot, it really doesn't matter otherwise about your positioning. You want to find the position that feels most kind and that invites the pressure from the therapy balls to be most kind to your body today. Okay, so let's get situated. Okay, so I am aware of not putting the therapy balls right on that bony thigh that we talked about there, the thigh bone. Okay, but then we're gonna roll those therapy balls towards the sacrum, that back middle part of the pelvis. And this should be a slow movement, okay? Really slow. Again, play around with your position and see what works best for you. You kind of are the scientist and the experiment all at the same time. Okay, so now this time, when you get to the end of your roll, where you can't really roll any further, the therapy balls are closer in towards the center line of your body, go ahead and pause there. Okay, and now we're gonna just move this right leg a little bit. So right now, my right toes are turned out to the side. My thigh is in external rotation. My toes are turned out to the side. My knee is pointing in the same direction as my toes, out to the right as well. So I'm gonna over-exaggerate that. I'm gonna see if I can push my pinky toe side of my foot into the ground more. and keep trying to turn out more from the thigh. And as I do that, I can start to feel some of those gluteal muscles firing up and kind of pushing back against the therapy balls. So I'm gonna take a deep breath in and hold that contraction. And then I'm gonna exhale and relax. And as you let that go, feel how your tissues drape over the therapy balls a little bit more. You've kind of invited them deeper. So that's one movement that you can do. Another movement that you can do is to windshield wiper the foot. So you're moving from, in the thigh, you're moving from external rotation when the toes are pointing out to internal rotation when the toes are pointing across over to the left. Okay, and watch how the sensation changes. Now, we are a bit close to the sciatic nerve, so if you start to feel any tingling in your leg or numbness in your foot, then you're probably making contact with that, and you should pause and readjust and reposition and then come back to this move. I feel like I could stay here forever. Okay, last one. Great. So now let's go ahead and prop up your hips to get the therapy balls out of the way, and just lie down on your back. Bend your knees. Take a full breath in and out. Now, if you can consider it this way, that we've just used these therapy balls to help wake up and kind of feed those muscles there on the glute area on the right side. Now, since they're woken up, they're awake, we're gonna put them to work now. So make sure that you can your fingertips can kiss your heels. And go ahead and one level here is to just pop your left heel up off the ground. And yet another level of challenge would be to lift your left leg up in the air. Okay, so maybe you start with just the left heel popped, and we see how it goes. And if it feels well to lift the leg all the way up, you can try that too. So take a breath in, and then as you exhale, push down into your right foot and lift your hips up. Inhale to set your hips down. Exhale, lift the hips up. Inhale, the hips come back down. So if you think that you would like to try with the leg up in the air, you can give it a go. Exhaling to lift the hips, inhaling to lower. Now, if your leg is lifted all the way up, you really got to pay extra attention to the pelvis and if it's getting wonky or not. Really want to try to make sure that the pelvis is staying level, that one side isn't lifting first. So here you want to go until you feel some fatigue. That might be different for everybody. So if I'm still going and you've already hit your fatigue, go ahead and fast forward. If I stop before you've hit your fatigue, then you can press pause and keep going for a bit longer. I think I've got about 5 left here. Great. Okay, so put your left foot down all the way. Take a deep breath in and out. And now let's move over to the other side. So I'm gonna switch directions on the mat for you. Okie dokie. So remember, we're gonna start with that self-massage, and the therapy balls are going in that kind of like underwear line, okay? So getting that situated, I like to extend my leg. You might like to kind of roll over onto your side a little bit more, or you might stay more on your back. Again, the position that your whole body takes isn't really as important here, as just as long as the therapy balls are in the right spot. Okay, so you can go ahead and kind of settle in here, and then you can start your slow roll of the therapy balls from this like underwear line towards the middle, the great divide, if you will. Really slow roll. And they probably won't go all the way to the great divide, okay? They might get close, but they probably won't go all the way there. And so you can roll and unroll that area a few times, moving really slowly, kind of feeling like you're moving at a bit of a glacial pace, okay? Noticing how this side feels the same or feels different. And you can kind of also feel that you're smushing that glute flesh. You're lifting it and bringing it in towards the middle. Okay, and so once you get in towards the middle, let's hang out there for a moment. So right now, your left leg, hopefully bring it into external rotation. So your left toes are pointing out to the left. Your knee is pointing out to the left also. And we're gonna exaggerate that external rotation. So from all the way up into the thigh, you're trying to turn your toes out further to the left. And you can maybe start that action by pushing the pinky toe side of the foot into the ground. And then once you feel that, you can maybe wake up the hips a little bit more to participate in that action. Whichever way you do it is fine. Hopefully you can feel your gluteals participating though and pressing back against the therapy ball. So take a deep breath in and hold that. And then as you exhale, relax the effort. And feel that your tissues kind of welcomed the therapy balls in a little bit more. Now, you're gonna windshield wiper your leg, your foot from side to side. So you're moving from external rotation to internal rotation. And feel how that goes. Just one more here. And let's relax. Okay, let's go ahead and get the therapy balls out. You put them off to the side, bend both knees. Take a full breath in and out. I feel so relaxed now. Now we're gonna work though, because we woke up all of those muscles in the outer hip, and now we're gonna put them to work. So you might start by just popping your right heel up off the ground, trying to keep the pelvis level. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, lift your hips away from the ground. Inhale, set the hips back down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. And if you'd like to add the level of challenge of taking the right leg up in the air, you can do that. Still same thing. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. And so the lift of the hips comes from pushing down into the left foot. And so remember, you want to go until you start to really feel fatigue in those muscles where we were using the therapy balls. So if you've already hit fatigue, maybe you fast forward a little bit. Otherwise, you can keep going with me. I think I have 5. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Great. Both feet down. If you haven't felt that fatigue yet, press pause and keep going, and then rejoin when you have hit that fatigue. Okay, so from here, go ahead and separate your feet a little bit wider than your hips, and we're going to drop the knees from side to side. Okay, so let's finish off the hips here with a nice yummy stretch. So go ahead and cross your right ankle over your left thigh, and then maybe float your left foot up off the ground. And you can put your hands on top of your left knee, or you can thread through and hold on to the left shin or the left thigh. Now, before you totally relax and get super comfy here, we're going to do a little bit of a test. So see if you can make your right leg really strong where it is. And then we're going to take the left leg away. Can you hold your right leg in place in that stretched place? Okay, once you've just checked it out, you can bring your left leg back and now enjoy the stretch. Okay, let's go over to the other side. So left ankle crosses over the right thigh. Pick the right thigh up, or the right foot up, and get there into your stretch, okay? But then we're gonna do that little test. So start to fire up your left leg, and then take your right leg away and see if you can keep your left leg where it is. Great. Bring your right leg back and enjoy the stretch. And then release and give both knees a hug into your chest. Do a little rocking from side to side. And then you can either rock up to a seat or roll over to one side and sit up. I hope your glutes feel great. I know mine do. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time.